Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Wow, it has been a minute since I have sat down and done a chatty catch-up update, what you will. I just thought I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go right into the deep end and I'm just gonna update you guys on everything that's been going on because my goodness, has there been so much. And yeah, I am clearly fresh just out of the garden from sunbathing and gardening. I have about 20 minutes to myself. James and the boys have run down to the beach. So I just thought I would pick up the camera, I would sit down and I would just go with it because I'm never really going to have another time. As you guys know, we are in lockdown right now and I feel like I have little people with me all the time. So I thought I'm going to grab this 20 minutes and I'm going to do something constructive with it, and that is making a video. I feel like these days I am really going through these sort of waves with social media where I get really into it and I'm really excited and I'm loving Instagram at the moment. I'm loving editing photos on that and stuff, but then I kind of dwindle down and just can't really find my groove, if that makes sense. So I thought I would sit down and make a constructive video when I felt in good spirits. And I find that being in good spirits these days comes with eating well, getting enough sleep, talking to those that I love, and basically spending time with my family and doing things that make me happy. So on that note, let's get right into it. Quick little update. So as you can see probably from my background, I'm not at home. We have been, I think, 9 weeks now since lockdown. We have been hunkering down at the farm. So my in-laws kindly put us up in one of their cottages and we have been here. It's been up and down. It's definitely been more positive than negative, I would say. And we are so blessed to be able to have like acres and acres for the children to run around. On the flip side, it's also not our home. So we're away from all our stuff. The kids are missing their stuff, their comforts. I don't think they really understand that even when we do go home, they can't see their friends, that kind of thing. So, but it's just the whole thing of having your own space and your own stuff. But as it stands right now, for us as a family, we feel the best thing to do is just to stay on the farm away from everyone else during this lockdown period. And that's what we've been doing. So the kids haven't seen anyone in like 9 weeks. Grocery shopping, how does that work for us? So I go on a weekly basis, pretty much. I tried to make it a fortnightly basis. Didn't happen at all. I mean, I'm sure as most of you guys, we are just spending so much money on food at the moment. I have 2 boys. Harry is age 9, Jack is age 6, and James, who works as a farmer, is 6'2", 6'3", something like that. So I am feeding hungry boys all the time. And I get into these big, like I'll get into a big cooking spree and I'll cook like 3 loaves of banana bread or 3 lemon drizzles or stuff, and they're gone within 48 hours at the most. So definitely feeding and meal prepping and cooking has become a huge focus for me. I'm trying to stay within a budget, but I think right now we just don't really know what budget is, if I'm honest. So yeah, we're just kind of going with it. So I go grocery shopping with my mother-in-law at about 7 o'clock in the morning every Tuesday. But I'm just finding it so expensive. It's difficult. We've kind of gone to different shops, but the one that we feel the most sort of secure with is the most expensive one, unfortunately. But it is the quietest and we just find it to be such a better time when we go. So that's kind of shopping. Our daily routine, how we work with in lockdown is we started off really well. Like for homeschooling, basically the boys were doing school every day from 9 till 3, and my mother-in-law would have one in the morning and I would have one in the afternoon, and then we would flip them. But they're obviously, one's in year 4, one's in year 2, and they learn very differently. One can be left alone, the other one can't be left alone. And it's just all very sort of like up and down, and you know, one day is a good day, the next day's not. So I decided to sort of change the schedule around and make it a little less stressful and a little more carefree, if you will. So now we have started doing school every morning, and then it's finished by lunchtime, and then we do something in the afternoon. So, but when we do something in the afternoon, it will be like a walk or helping out in the garden on the farm. Or one of the boys will go help out with their dad in the workshop and that kind of stuff. So we're still sort of doing something where they're learning something. And I've also been trying to implement little things like teaching them how to empty the dishwasher, teaching them how to boil an egg in the morning, things like this. So I am one of those moms that does everything for their kids. So I'm learning that myself as well. A little treat that I had, well, that I gave myself during this lockdown period was I subscribe back to Plum Paper Planner, and I am loving it at the moment. I'm not a very creative planner. Like I did order loads of stickers, and I'm trying to get back into that. And I probably will do a video on how I use my planner. I need to watch more videos on how people use their Plum Paper planners. That's very difficult to say. Just because I'm just kind of getting back into the groove of it. And of course, there's not a lot of things to write down at the moment. You know, the kids don't have loads of activities, and I don't have different things, appointments and stuff I need to be at right now. So the pages are pretty bare at the moment. I basically just use it to remind myself of when the kids have a Microsoft class, or if they have a Zoom class or that kind of thing. So that's that. Work-wise, James, nothing has really affected him tremendously. He is a key worker, so he's still at work on the farm every day, which is part of the reason why we moved here too. And they run holiday cottages, so obviously none of that's going on. So the farm pace has definitely slowed down. This would normally be their high season. And I think it's okay for him. He's the kind of person, he needs to keep busy all the time, and he's been finding loads of different things to do. I mean, it's a massive farm. There's always something to do. So he's been good. I think I think the thing he misses the most definitely is the gym, and just having that. You know, we all feel like we need a little bit more exercise at the moment right now. And he's very good at going for walks. I mean, he just took the kids down for a run around on the beach for a half hour. I'm so much more of a homebody. I'm not a big fan of walks. I need to learn to be a lot better, but, and I've also have totally put my running on a hiatus. I think I've been stuck on Couch to 5K week 3 now. We're going on like 6 months. So that is something too I really want to get back into. The kids have been good with doing PE in the mornings with Joe, so they've been doing that. They do find it difficult. I mean, if I'm honest, I find it a little bit difficult too. So they like the Cosmic Kids Yoga, and then there's like Kid Bops or something rather. They like doing that, but mostly they just sit and watch the videos for it. So on the whole, I feel like homeschooling is going okay. I think we will definitely, in fact, I know we will definitely go all throughout the summer homeschooling, just because I don't think we'll have a routine otherwise. Like, there will be no summer camps. There won't be anything like that open. And my kids just don't do well with being at home, not doing much during the whole day, as I'm sure many other children don't. So although it will be sort of much more carefree and loose and that kind of stuff, we definitely will continue on with homeschooling throughout the summer period until, fingers crossed, they go back to school in September. That's another thing. My 2 will not be going back to school until September. I think even if they were offered to go back, James and I had quietly made that decision between ourselves that they would not be going back until September, or at least until something further vaccination-wise, or I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for, but something further had developed. We just weren't ready to sort of send them back to school right away. And fortunately, we're in a position now that I'm at home, as I'm no longer working, and I can be with them, and James can be working. And although it means that we're on a 1-income family at the moment, we are still managing to save in other aspects. So yeah, that's a bit of a quick sort of catch up of lockdown in our situation and that kind of stuff. That's one thing I get asked on Instagram quite a bit, how we're dealing with all that, obviously all being together on the farm. So the other question I get asked about all the time, and something I haven't really addressed a lot, is what happened to the wedding. You guys know James and I became engaged, I think, back in December 2017. So yeah, like 2.5 years ago. I feel like I've been engaged forever. And we were due to be married this month in May. And yeah, sadly, of course, it didn't happen because of the coronavirus. We actually decided to put the wedding on hold right before lockdown happened, and we are such a fortunate couple that we have just we decided to have a very local based wedding, and we went with all local companies and people that we really wanted to like promote, you know, whether it was their food, their music, their venue, anything like that. We just really felt passionate about that, and we have basically been able to secure a date for next year right away, almost a year to the date, and we really didn't lose much money, if any, at all. Just a little bit, but nothing like some of the horror stories I've seen with some people. So it just wasn't going to be feasible, you know, to do something rushed either. And I didn't want my parents flying from Canada and all that kind of thing. So next year, fingers crossed, next year. So I was very fortunate enough to have my part one of my hen do, which was a night in Leeds. I'm sure you guys saw some of that stuff on Instagram, and it was such good fun and such a good laugh for all of us to have prior to all this going down. So I feel very fortunate to be able to have had that. So yeah, that was our main big thing that got canceled. We didn't really have any other holidays other than my hen do that was booked. And we managed to get our money back for that, as well as a credit for the flights. So fingers crossed that gets to go ahead again next year as well. Other than that, we are all happy and healthy and safe, and we are trying to get outside as much as possible. Nutrition and health wise, I am turning the big 4-0 in July, and I am very conscious at the moment of some of the lifestyle as well as like the nutrition decisions and stuff I've been making. Everything from the amount of sleep I get to the food I put into my body to the products I put on my face. I've just started to to the clothes I wear even. I've just started to take a little bit of a step back and really get into a don't buy because it's cheap or for the sake of buying it. Just hang on and wait and look at the product and think about it and research it. And I'm going to probably go into that and talk about that because I recently purchased a few products that are important to me, which I probably will go into like a favorites video or something, because I could definitely do a whole video on them myself. A separate video for them, I mean. But otherwise, things we like to do to keep ourselves busy and entertained during lockdown: eat. Definitely, we are big eaters in this family. We have been trying loads of different new recipes and stuff, which has been great. We have a quiz weekly with our friends. I love having a quiz. Don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like a real pressure of getting the kids in bed, getting ready and all that stuff. I guess it's kind of like going out, but at the same time, it's nice that like you don't have to get dressed up. And you can just put on your comfies and, you know, grab some cheese and biscuits and have your quiz. And we've got such a lovely group of friends. It's so nice just to see them all come up on Zoom and have a good laugh and stuff. And we always feel so much more positive afterwards as well. The boys have been behaving really well. The thing I think I've struggled with the most has definitely been medication. I am finding it very difficult to get my epilepsy tablets. I went through a whole period of not being able to get them, and then I had a friend who was able to help me out with them because she works in the medical profession, and it's just sort of it's not as straightforward as getting a repeat prescription. I just can't seem to get a repeat prescription. I don't think it's something our doctor's surgery is doing anymore at the moment. But this week I have to go in and I have to request another prescription. So I always can feel my anxiety building up quite a bit when it's time to go and do that, because it's just not as straightforward as it used to be. I changed. So that's probably been my biggest stress, is just worrying about not having enough tablets in time. So far it's been okay, but it hasn't been an easy road at all, I'll say. I've changed my contact lens subscription to Hubble, which I think I've talked about before. I actually took it off from them because I wasn't terribly I just thought that it wasn't, for the quality of the contact lens, I was paying a bit too much, but I found out now that I can actually, I don't have to get a subscription every month. So that's been okay. And so for now, basically anything I can get delivered or a subscription to, I am, rather than going to the store to get, or into a walk-in appointment, for example. And yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I'm sure I'm forgetting loads of stuff, but I thought I'd just pick up the camera and just have a quick sit down, chatty, you know, how are you guys doing? This is how I'm doing. I feel very positive today. Definitely I'm up and down, up and down. I think when it was during the whole sort of what would have been the wedding period, I was very down and really stuck in a funk. So I've just sort of tried to move on from that and just sort of do things that make me happy at night, like whether it's picking up my planner or reading a book, or even just like Netflix. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, our shows that we've been watching. And it's, you guys know, it's really difficult for James and I to find a show together that we like. He loves to binge watch shows, which I'm quite fine doing that as well, but he will stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning watching them, and I am definitely not staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So what was the one that we just watched? Oh, we watched the basketball one. I can't remember what it's called, with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Save the Dance, or The Last Dance, or something like that. We watched that. That was quite good. And we are now, what are we watching tonight? What is it called? Why can't I remember it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're going to be watching something new starting tonight. If I remember it, I'll link it down below for you guys. But otherwise, we've just watched quite a few of like the short Netflix things. We watched Little Fires on Amazon Prime, which was, I think, much more girly, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, please do let us know, because we're always looking for Amazon Prime or Netflix suggestions. We've never been like getting into these like really big ones that people watch and stuff. Like, it's much more, we just like this sort of the 6 episode thing. But yeah, anyway, that's been that. I'm also so tired, I find, in the evenings too, because you just have to be positive and go throughout the day, don't you, with like the homeschooling and the cooking and all that kind of stuff, and just sort of being the hub for your family. So I do have to say, I feel very blessed to be able to be concentrating just on the children and just on the cottage and, you know, providing for the family and that kind of stuff, because I don't know how I would have been able to juggle working from home. Some of the stories I talked to my friends who are doing it, as well as having like little 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds at their feet. It's just, I think some of them are very happy to go back to work. I think some are very scared to go back to work. It's just, it's not the ideal situation, is it? So that's why we all have to sort of be as positive as we can and do little things to make us feel better as well. So you guys, hope this wasn't too rambly. I could definitely sit down and talk for more and more and more, but I won't. I hope you enjoyed this little catch up of seeing where we are in lockdown 2020. We're doing all right, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.